Yeah, we're going to start recording early today because I totally forgot. Like, here we're having this session yesterday on pain, and I totally forgot that was the Good Friday. And I was thinking, wow, what a symbol, talking about pain, the illusion of pain on Good Friday. And then we were just talking about how, yeah, you can hear us okay? Oh, good. Jesus is in the tomb. Oh my gosh, there's so much happiness talking about this. Maybe fun to hear what Jesus has to say about it. Oh my God. He's saying, this is just an expression of divinity. Everything's an expression of divinity. And he knew it was only that. He's the symbol, the great symbol, that everything's an expression of divinity unless it's defined otherwise. And he was so completely such a symbol in our minds of knowing form has no consequence whatsoever on union with the absolute reality. And what a gift it is to follow this one, this symbol in our minds, divine light, infinite light. Like, how can infinite light even be touched by this? When we see infinite light, can't be touched by a crucifixion. And how he's turned that around in A Course in Miracles to show us how we're crucifying ourselves. That's so, wow. He's saying the time of the crucifixion is over. It's time to stop celebrating what never happened and investing in what can't happen to the Son of God. To cease the persecution and the punishment. And see with great happiness that it can't happen. He's just telling me how fast this is, what he's giving us, the speed of it. And just continually stay joined in mind, constantly with your brother, constantly as that symbol of him, or with him, if you have that connection with him. Just one thought of joining with Christ can override anything. Just like yesterday's lesson, I rest in God. Yeah, this word keeps coming up, and it came up when Judith mentioned about being in the tomb, transcendence, not transcendence, but transmutation of all that energetic investment in other, to transmute that through the release and forgiveness to whole perception, unified perception, and actually see beyond perception itself, that the light is beyond perception. Mm-hmm. I love that so much. It just brings me so much joy to say this. So at one point, he showed me a translation in an Aramaic Bible that was such a strong symbol here of it was a direct Aramaic to English translation of his last words on the cross. Lomana Sabachthani is what's been quoted. And I think for most course students, we just I couldn't relate to that. How Father has abandoned me, forsaken me, Father. Mm-hmm. And he keeps saying, you're forsaking your Father. How can your Father forsake you if you look in truth? And we see that. It's so powerful, these words. So it's very different in this Aramaic translation. The words are Lamana Sabachthani. I have to work on my Aramaic. Or get Jesus to help me, obviously. And the translation is this: for this I am bestowed, granted. For this function, and it's il, it's not Eli, it's il, which is in an Aramaic Bible only used in one place, and that is at the burning bush. It's the highest creator absolute. So he was declaring unity on the cross with the absolute. In his last words on the cross: for unity with the absolute, I'm given, which is our only function. Choiceless awareness, unity with the absolute reality. What a symbol in the mind of the abject power we have as light beings.
Can you say that again? For this
I am granted or bestowed. For this I'm given. For this purpose. For the absolute reality.
For the absolute reality.
This is our purpose. So he's right on the cross, pointing to function. This is my function. Unity with the absolute. Just like, and I have fulfilled it in this expression of divine love. And the demonstration that divine love looks in all ways. And that love's possible regardless of what's expressing out in form. Like, this is the one that called to us in the mind. This power, one of the greatest symbols in consciousness.
And this is spoken again through Christ.
We are that. That's us. Jesus is us. The absolute is us. Is this.
Oh my gosh.
This. With my brothers shining like little light beams to remind me like the Christ is always here, sitting right next to me to remind me.
Yeah. And Christ speaking through this me.
That the suffering need not be. The suffering need not be, yeah. Yeah, what a gift from Jesus. So he loves, the symbology is so powerful. I remember when I had that a trip to Jerusalem. God, this is going to take me to my knees. He's taking me. I see why he uses these stories for us as these reminders. So, and I was sent to Jerusalem, and I didn't know why, and I turned out to be like, I know it's taken me to infinite love with you. And I was staying in a hotel. I don't know how many of you I've told this story to, so I'll tell a little bit of it. Like, I didn't know where I was staying. Well, and the first day it was like, oh God, what am I doing? We've heard this before. It was like Tangled movie yesterday, when it's that perfect. If you've seen Tangled, like she comes down from the tower and then she's like throwing herself on the ground. This is fantastic. And then she's going, oh my God, what have I done? And so, we're having a real quick story right before we start. Anyway, I'm telling about Jerusalem. So I have 2 minutes to tell the story. But anyway, and how Jesus uses symbols. So, because we're talking about the crucifixion, what could be better than this? So I'm in Jerusalem going, what am I doing here? Anyway, there's so many miraculous symbols, one of which where I picked up my iPad that morning going, I don't know what I'm doing. And I looked down and I saw the garden tomb. It's like, and I felt it, when you get that resonant energy from Jesus, like you just know that's you're supposed to do that. It's like, it doesn't always happen like that, but sometimes it does. And so, okay, I'll go. And I get up and I'm even provided a mighty companion who gets me there in 15 minutes. She goes, oh, that's right here. I'll take you. It was amazing. Okay, so I'm in the garden tomb. So many miracles happen in this garden tomb. You know, there's no way to say whether Jesus, okay, his body was there. I can just say whatever he's giving in terms of symbols or to follow, like go to the garden tomb, like just do it. So it's like miraculous. It's every day, like going to that garden tomb, down the hall, you know, and sitting in front of seemingly the opening where he came walking out. Like there'd be a miracle every day, constantly. And following him and having no idea. There's so many Jerusalem miracles. I may even make just a videotape on that because it's just too hilarious. But what's coming to mind right now, oh my God, this is how he speaks to everyone. So I'm sitting in front of this hill that looks like a skull. And I don't know if you've seen this thing in Jerusalem or a picture of it. It's kind of falling apart, but it really looks like some think this is Golgotha, like where he was buried. I mean, where he was crucified. And I'm sitting in front of it right there. And I can hear this voice saying, you will see everything that I saw in terms of miracles in this lifetime. Because you carry the same power as I do. So I'm communicating that to everyone. You will see. It was so profound. It's profound saying it now. And he says this in the Course. But you know, when we talked about this before, like when that bird lands in your heart of hearing it, like when we're so open that it just, right? And you just know that's true. You like know that bird of Jesus is in your heart. Oh my God, that's a celebration. Looking at Golgotha, the skull hill, and to hear that voice speak.
And to transmit it to us.
And to share it, because you can hear it too. And that's why this gift of here we come in these light circles. This is the mind training he's given us in these light circles. You can hear my voice all day, and I'm going to show you exactly how that's going to happen if you're open to it, because you can hear. And we're just removing every doubt by looking at all the denials that we can hear. That's what we come together to do. Celebrate the light, those two things. Look at all the doubt thoughts, all the denial thoughts. And we are the Christ. We are the resurrection and the life. We are life itself. Infinite life. And he's helping us see that life is not a body that lives or dies. Where there's such a belief that a body holds life in it. Such a belief. That was another great crucifixion symbol. He knew that life is not a body. Life is what is. Our identity is life, far beyond the body. Our identity is this light that we've cast away to pretend like we're a body. So we keep coming and be reminded. As long as we're reminded continually, oh, wait, there's a light here. Constantly going, wait, there's a light here. Not a place to return to. The light's always here. That's what we're here to see in these light circles, that infinite love, light. At first it seems like, well, that's pretty simple. Like I can tell there might be something here that's quiet, peaceful. That's why we have to look at not wanting that. I was looking with Jesus this week, you know. I could see how much peace is actually hated. Peace is hated. You know, it takes that kind of energy to try to cover over identity, the light. It takes hate. It can't really cover it over, but it'll generate an entire dream that it's not here. It's really, really helpful. So that's what the light circles are. We started a little early because it was really, we were talking, what a time, crucifixion. Crucifixion, that's for us. Crucifixion's for us. For those of us that feel the call to Jesus's voice, and he's saying, come join. And he's continually to say how important this joining is. One thought, because a thought of joining is a thought of the Father. Oh, that's new. The thought of joining is a thought of the Father. The thought of joining with your brother is the thought of your Father. That's so great. So stay joined in thought, that one thought with your brother, how helpful that is. Or with Jesus, if that thought comes to mind. So great. So I guess we can start the lesson now. I mean, the denials of the lesson. Thank you. Thank you for that early celebration. And tomorrow's, of course, Easter, another reminder. Just know that Jesus was resurrected long before he went on that cross. Okay? Called Gethsemane. Drop that ego, drop the idea of an identity. Gethsemane. That's what he told me.
Say it again.
At Gethsemane dropped any idea of pain. Okay? Because if you don't have any belief that this world, he dropped all idea that the world, the only reason why the world hates is because we believe it does, it hurts. He didn't have any belief. Perfect love casts out fear. And fear expresses as pain. So you can't, if you're perfect love and in your recognition of perfect love, you can't have pain. Possible. No, you can see this for yourself. Does light, infinite light, we look, the light that's here that we share, does it know pain? It'll tell you the answer. Inside, no. Doesn't know pain. So the voice that's speaking to you that tells you that super consciousness, that's the part of consciousness that we've divided out. Like we live in the subconscious mind when really there's only unified consciousness. So Jesus is a symbol of that voice within us that can communicate with us. Remind us that there is no pain. There is no such thing as suffering unless we decide to dream it. In a perfect lesson 110, I am as God created me. Jesus, are there any beliefs and desires below my level of awareness that I am as God created me? I'm willing to see this. We will repeat today's idea from time to time. For this one thought would be enough to save you in the world if you believe that it is true. Jesus, can you show me where I'm not believing I am as created as God? I am as God created me. I'm willing to see it. In truth, this would mean you have made no changes in yourself that have reality, nor changed the universe so that what God created was replaced by fear and evil, misery, and death. Jesus, is there any desire below my level of awareness that I can make changes in myself and not be as God created me and not experience as myself? Can you show me that desire to not experience myself as God created me by making seeming changes? Or the desire to experience change in the universe so that what God created is replaced by fear and evil, to have that experience, to dream this. Can you show me the desire to dream that what God created was replaced by fear and evil? Misery and death. And the desire to experience crucifixion as real. If you remain as God created you, fear has no meaning. Evil is not real, and misery and death do not exist. Jesus, I'm willing to see as the light that's here, the abject power of the light that I am, that's shared by myself and every brother. I am willing to see that God, when I remain as this light, as God created me, pure, choiceless awareness, fear has no meaning to this light. In my direct experience, I can see this. Does this light know anything about fear? Or misery? Or evil? Infinite light and infinite peace, can it know evil? In our direct experience. Today's idea is therefore all you need to let complete correction heal your mind. That's deep. Today's idea is therefore all you need to let complete correction heal your mind and give you perfect vision that will heal all the mistakes that any mind has made at any time or place. I'm going to go back and read that. I am as God created me. That carries all the power of God in that sentence he's telling us. I can feel it. Let's feel that. That carries the power of God. Feel that. I am as God created me. What in this world can trump God in our direct experience? Can the ego, limited consciousness, trump light? Does it have any power whatsoever over the light that we are in our direct experience? No. Is the mind fully healed as this light? In our direct experience in the light that's here, is our mind fully healed? The light that's shared by all of us. It is enough to heal the past and make the future free. It is enough to let the present be accepted as it is. Jesus, can you show me in the light with my brother a desire to not accept the present as it is, to have a desired experience of not accepting the present as it is. I'm willing to see it. Can you show me the desire for an experience to have an argument with the present as it is? I'm willing to see it. Any argument with the present. Any argument with God created me. I'm willing to see that argument. That's the argument. That God created me exactly like he says here. It is enough to let time be the means for all the world to learn escape from time and every change that time appears to bring in passing by. Oh my gosh. Love you, Jesus. Love all of you. There's enough to let time. So let's just explore this concept of time. It's helpful in light of being, to be reminded of what's timeless within. This is a funny trip home, everybody. Jesus is going. It really is when we start getting onto it. Okay, let's just check out the light again one more time. And look at the light that we're sharing right here, the glory that shines out in every being. That's the same. We see that light the same. Does the light of divine being know anything, the light that's here that we share, know anything about time? Just go deep and ask Jesus to tell you. Do I, as a light being, the light being that's here, not as a person, but as light being, the one being, the I am, everybody's smoking. Ha! I know anything about time in direct experience. No. What does Jesus say? It's so good. This is the good news. If you remain as God created you, light, pure, infinite, happiness, joy, peace, appearances cannot replace the truth, health cannot turn to sickness, nor can death be substitute for life or fear of love. This just feels like the whole gentleness of the light circles, to see how gentle this light is. When we look at the light that's here, we focus on the light that's here, the light that's shared by all brothers. Is there anything not gentle about this light? It's just this helpful means to see that the fear, what's being generated, the fear is the denial. The light itself's just here. It's us, divine being right here. And this is just a gentle way to keep looking, and he's just pointing, going, when you go naked, see that you have to be naked for this light, meaning drop all ideas. The light doesn't hold on to ideas. Just rest. This is God resting here. And see how gentle this is, and so that we can recognize when there's not so gentle energy, who's that coming from? And sometimes it doesn't feel gentle, but you start to see that it is merciful. Because we see that we've asked for exposure of everything. So that discomfort that's arising, we've asked to see it all come into attention. So sometimes that part doesn't seem gentle because the very one that we've invested in is being exposed, and the one we've invested in, that personal identity, it's that split mind. You know, we kind of want to know God, but we really don't, you know, we don't, because we like the dream so much.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why the pain lasts so long, because there's still a wanting of it below the level of consciousness. So that's going to extend. It's like that pull of wanting to extend the experience of time. But we can see, if we look in the light, that anything placed in this light cannot exist. So the faster we have this willingness, that's why that willingness is so powerful. The speed of transcendence. You can see that nothing stands before this light. No delusion can stand before this light, infinite light that we share. It's just helpful to have each other when we sometimes kind of have that momentary thing. Like, we've had a couple of conversations because sometimes when it gets uncomfortable, it's like, Jesus, where are you for me now? Where are you? I'm doing everything on this spiritual journey. Where are you? He's always there helping. Always there. He's just showing us the ugliness of this investment in self-crucifixion. If you remain as God created you, appearances cannot replace the truth. Health cannot turn to sickness, nor can death be substitute for life or fear of love. See that as you stay and rest as this light, as God created you, as pure, infinite light. Death has no dominion over this light in your direct experience, in our direct experience. All this has not occurred if you remain as God created you. You need no thought, but just this one, to let redemption come to light the world and free it from the past. In this one thought is all the past undone, the present saved to quietly extend into a timeless future. If you are as God created you, then there has been no separation of your mind from His. See that as the light that we are. Does the light that we are know anything about separation? Feel it. I love this. Muji says, marinate on this. Marinate. Marinate is infinite light. If you are as God created you, then there has been no separation of your mind from His. In the light, is there any separation from His? No split between your mind and other minds. In the light of divine being that we are, can we find a split of other minds? Or is there only just one light? Light is us. Mm-hmm. And only unity within your own. See that the light that you are only knows unity in your direct experience. The healing power of today's idea is limitless. It is the birthplace of all miracles, the great restorer of the truth to the awareness of the world. Practice today's idea with gratitude. This is the truth that comes to set you free. This is the truth that God has promised you. This is the word in which all sorrow ends. For your 5-minute practice periods, begin with this quotation from the text. I am as God created me. His son can suffer nothing, and I am his son. Then, with this statement firmly in your mind, oh, he added a sentence, know that you can hear my voice. I am as God created me, his son can suffer nothing, and I am his son. Discover in your mind the self who is the Holy Son of God himself, the light within. Seek him within you who is Christ in you, the Son of God and brother to the world, the Savior who has been forever saved, with power to save whoever touches him, however lightly, asking for the word that tells him he is brother unto him. You are as God created you. Today, honor yourself with a capital S. That's beautiful. Stay as the light. The world arises in you, not apart from you. As an expression of divine nature. Let graven images you made to be the Son of God instead of what he is be worshipped not today. Deep in your mind, the Holy Christ in you is waiting your acknowledgement as you. This is the only lottery ticket that's 100% winnable. 100%. And then you see there's no lottery at all. There's just the light. It's the ticket that we've already won. We keep trying to give the ticket away. And you are lost and do not know yourself while he is acknowledged, unacknowledged, and unknown. Seek him today and find him. He will be your savior from all idols you have made. For when you find him, you will understand how worthless are your idols and how false the images which you believe were you. Today we make a great advance to truth by letting idols go and opening our minds and hearts and our hands and hearts and minds to God today. Jesus, I lay my heart, my hand, and the mind to you in service to perfect happiness and perfect peace. We will remember him throughout the day with thankful hearts and loving thoughts for all who meet with us today. For it is thus that we remember him, and we will say that we may be reminded of his Son, our holy self, the Christ in each of us. I am as God created me. And I celebrate that my brother is as God created him. Let us declare this truth as often as we can. This is the word of God that sets you free. This is the key that opens up the gate of heaven and lets you enter in the peace of God and his eternity. I am as God created me. Infinite, eternal, changeless, timeless. Peace. Amen. Thank you, beloved, for joining us this holy day. We'll just sit in silence as God created us, and feel free to move as you're called by the Holy Spirit. Love to you all.